Howdy, Marty Duda here with another Music Talk. This time, I'm with Joshua Hedley, who's in Nashville to tell us about his new album, Neon Blue.
I'm blue, baby.
According to Josh, he spent his time after making the previous album, Mr. Jukebox, getting drunk and watching wrestling. Find out how that worked out for him, and here's some Neon Blue for you.
Neon blue, neon blue. That girl knew how to pay me in full. Yeah, she turned my honky tonk heart neon blue.
Well, congratulations on the new record. This is exciting because it's the 22nd year, so it's already out.
It's out. It's out over there.
Yep.
I love that.
Isn't that cool? Neon Blue. So you're signed to New West. How did that happen? Tell me, leading up to the release here. Must be a big deal, huh?
Yeah, it was cool. Everything was kind of up in the air after Mr. Jukebox,
Right.
and I had a lot of people asking, like, when am I going to make another record? And I didn't have an answer for them.
Right.
It was just sort of like, well, I don't really know. I don't know that I'll ever actually get to make another record. But I tweeted that out, and George Fontaine Jr. from New West saw it, and he emailed me and asked if I wanted to make a record with New West, and I said, hell yeah, let's go.
There you go.
Let's do it.
The glory of the tweet. Who knew?
Yeah, Twitter. It is good for something. So.
I love it. So that's very cool. So did they, I'm getting the feeling, especially after I listened to the song Country and Western, that you're kind of defining yourself specifically more as a country and Western singer rather than all this other stuff that we were talking about. So did you guys have discussions with the record label about that?
I wouldn't say we had discussions per se, but they kind of just let me run with my ideas.
Cool.
I knew that I wanted to make sort of a 90s influenced country record, and I brought it to them that way. I presented it to them that way, and they said, we think that's a good idea, so cool. Let's run with it. And so far, every weird idea that I've had, they've let me run with. So I'm very happy.
That's what you want. So what does the
That's
90s
right.
country sound mean to you? What are you thinking of in those terms?
Well, the whole thing kind of started when Joe Diffie passed away in March of 2020. I went on I started listening to a bunch of Joe Diffie, diving through his catalog, and it kind of slowly spread out from there into some more of the songs of that era. I listened to a lot of Daryl Singletary and Mark Chestnut and Shania, and like a bunch of these artists that were, on the radio when I was growing up. As much as I listened to, Merle and George Jones and Dolly Parton and stuff, I was also listening to what was on country radio at the time, which was those artists. And I sort of have a soft spot for it. And to me, it's like the last discernibly country era of country music. Like you could, in 1993, you could turn the radio on, hear a Patty Loveless song, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a country song. Like There was no doubt. There was fiddle, there was steel, there was everything. And I sort of wanted to pay tribute to the last bastion of country music.
So this is kind of pre-Achy Breaky Heart, is that right?
Yeah, achy, the old achy breaky big mistakey. Although he took that mistake straight to the bank.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck? Good on him.
Somebody told me that like his first royalty check or something for that was for like $500,000,
Yep.
and he took it through the drive-through bank teller, and they
with a big bag.
yeah, they were just like, we have to make a phone call, and they called the label people and were like, somebody named Billy Ray Cyrus is trying to cash a check for $500,000, and the guy said, well, did you give him a lollipop or what?
Fantastic. Excellent. All right. So Neon Blue, tell me about how you made it. You recorded it in Nashville, obviously. So what were the circumstances?
I wanted to, the first thing that came to mind after I agreed to make a record with New West, what immediately came to mind was the fact that I've been sitting on my ass for 3 years and didn't have any songs. No songs, no ideas, no nothing. I was just sort of diddling around in Nashville, getting drunk and watching wrestling, and that's pretty much all I did. And they asked if I wanted to do that, and I didn't have any ideas, so I got in touch with my publisher, and I was like, hey, can you set up some co-writes with some folks? And he set me up some co-writes with some guys, and they went all right, but he set me up with a guy named Carson Chamberlain.
Right.
And Carson had written some hits in that era. He wrote Love's Got a Hold on You for Alan Jackson. And he wrote The Best Day for George Strait. And I was like, oh yeah, I know him. And we got together, and he brought in a guy called Wyatt McCubbin, and we sat down and wrote almost the entire record, the three of us.
Cool.
It was me and Carson and Zach, or me and Carson and Wyatt, or me and Carson and a guy named Zach Top kind of wrote most of the record.
Yep.
And Neon Blue was Carson, Wyatt, and I. And it's just like, I had never really done that kind of proper Nashville co-write before.
Yeah.
And it's wild. It's crazy. You get three good writers in a room, and you have to try to not write a song.
Right.
Like,
okay. Yeah. But for you personally, did it change the way you had to approach writing? Did you kind of have to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. It was a very educational experience for me. In just like a clinic in writing. Those guys, they do it for a living, it's not, there's a difference between being like a singer-songwriter and a songwriter. Like those guys have quotas they have to fill. And I don't think any song on this record took longer than 30 minutes to write.
Really? That's amazing.
It was just like
here we go.
Boom, 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 boom. Like they're just, as soon as we had ideas, they just started flowing, and we just put pen to paper, and the songs just fell out.
So with that in mind, looking forward, do you think you're going to continue working like that, or is it going to just influence the way you write on your own now?
I think both. I definitely do want to continue to write solo. But yeah, whenever there's, when you don't have inspiration to write, you can either just not write anything, or you can co-write. And I would rather co-write and keep creating songs than to just not create anything. It's definitely, and when you do that, it brings it, like, it lights the inspirational pilot light, if you just sit around and do nothing, you're never going to get inspiration. So you might as well call up some buddies and write a song.
Right. Absolutely. So let's pick a track at rather end. Bury Me With My Boots On is a favorite. I love the piano in it. So tell me a little bit about how that one was put together.
Well, I ain't dead yet, but like old Joan said, I stopped loving her today. So bury me with my boots on underneath this barroom floor. Carve my name into this new and loving memory of a fool. So bury me with my boots on.
Yeah, that was me and my co-producer Skylar Wilson wrote that song.
Okay.
And I sort of had that first verse and chorus kicking around, and Skylar and I got together and fleshed out the second verse. But that one was heavily Diffie inspired.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my big tribute to Joe. I just, it's got big prop me up beside the jukebox vibes, and
yeah, definitely
sort of the same, posed with the eternal question, it's me or the beer,
and
he chose
always,
beer,
and there's always and you got to get George Jones in there somewhere as well, so that's always a plus.
Yeah. I was particularly proud of that line, actually.
Good on you. And there's a video for Broke Again. I see the opening track. So it's a great, it looks like you're having fun making. I love especially in the scene where you're in the office and they're dancing behind you. I love
Just
that.
a little bit of money's all I need. I ain't paid the rent since I signed my lease. I'm working my fingers down to the bone, and I already sold everything I own. No matter what I do, Lord, I can't seem to win. Here we go again. Broke again.
That was the same guy who did the videos for Mr. Jukebox and Weird Thought Thinker.
Right.
A guy named Travis Nicholson. He also did the Neon Blue video.
Oh, cool.
But we shot Broke Again very much in the same way as I'm shooting this right now.
No, okay.
We did it
just
all
keyed in front of
a
it.
green screen. Yeah. And he found some weird, like, public domain stock footage on the internet. I think it was like copyright free, stock footage.
Yep.
And just dropped me in front of all these things. And I had to act, calling it acting is an overstatement, but I had to pretend like I was actually in the situations and react to things that weren't there at the time. And it's the first time I had been like really directed in a music video. There's always some kind of loose direction,
right.
Like, hey, do this again.
Yep.
Act like you're having fun, we could do better on this, that. But this was just like, there's an explosion happening in front of you. Like, I'm like, okay, there's a coffee table in front of me, but whatever. So,
all right. Now there is a cover. The album ends with "River in the Rain," an old Roger Miller song. But it's not that old. It's kind of from the 80s, isn't it?
Sometimes in a time of trouble, when you're out of hand and your muddy bubbles roll across my floor. Hey, can't weigh the things I treasure. Hell, there ain't no way to measure why I love you more than I did the day before. A river in the rain.
Yeah, that might have been his last single. I'm trying to think if he had anything after that, but yeah, River in the Rain is there's a few reasons behind that choice. I just love the song, for one.
Right.
That's one of my favorite Roger songs, and I love Roger Miller. I think he's one of, if not the greatest writer to ever pick up a pen.
Right. Well, you can't roller skate in the buffalo herd,
Exactly. And that is actually that was another reason for it too. He's so connected to sort of humorous, witty material, but he also applied that same wit to serious subject matter, and it's not as revered as you know, a Dang Me or He Can't Roller Skate in the Buffalo Herd, stuff like that. But his serious songs are incredible, and I kind of wanted to highlight that and showcase the more serious side of Roger Miller. And there was this guy who used to work at Roberts. He was a security door guy at Roberts, named Brett Marker, and he always used to ask me to do that song. And he doesn't work there anymore, and I don't really see him ever these days. But I never played that song for him while he was working there. And when I was thinking about what covers to put on the record, I thought about Brett, and I was like, I ought to do that song for Brett. And it's a good song, so I should put it on the record. Very cool. Very cool. Now, I think we're running out of time, but just briefly, what are you going to do when your record's out where you are in Nashville? I don't know. I'm headed to Athens tomorrow, Athens, Georgia, to play a benefit show for a charity called Lovecraft Athens that works with disabled adults, mentally disabled adults in the Athens area. And that's the show, the big show for release day. We had the release show here in Nashville last night at this new place, a new bowling alley called East Side Bowl, which is only 1.5 miles from my house. So I was I was pumped about that. Absolutely. But it was great. So many pluses there, aren't there? Yeah. And now I'm sort of I did a pretty decent job of tearing my career down to the ground after Mr. Jukebox, when I hit the bottle pretty heavy after that record came out, and kind of, you know, leveled everything. And now I'm just rebuilding. Now it's all inspiration. Exactly. But you got to do the research. Yeah. Trying to get me some new management, new booking agent, and all of that. So hopefully I'll be out on the road soon. Cool. Hopefully I'll be in y'all's neck of the woods. That would be fantastic. We'd love to see you. Yeah. It'd be great. You know, I love it down there. Yeah, exactly. All righty. Well, thanks for spending time with me. Have a great day tomorrow in Athens. And I hope the record does everything it needs to do. All right. Thank you, Marty. We'll see you. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye.